Welcome back. All right, late getting the review started as I went to an Abbotsford Canucks game tonight. Now, I can't take all the credit, but I've gone to 2 Abbotsford home games this year. They've won both of them. Guess how many Abbotsford home games they've won this year? 2. So when I show up, when I'm in attendance, they win. When I'm not, they don't. It's the oddest thing. It's one of those just weird. There was a time on this channel when I'd go to Canucks games, Vancouver games, and they'd lose every time I went. I was told at one point by Canuck fans, just don't go. Then they started winning. They wouldn't lose when I went. And now for Abbotsford this year, it appears I'm a good luck charm. So just saying, just throwing that out there. I'm a good luck charm for Abbotsford. I also wanted to say before I get started, on Friday, I have an appointment with an ophthalmologist for my ongoing vision issues. So I will be unable to watch the start of the games on Friday. Just throwing that out there because, usually home watching the games at 4 o'clock, but due to an appointment that I think most people are going to understand, I won't be able to do that on Friday, although I will be home watching them and probably with dilated pupils, so that'll be fun. Anyways, we'll go ahead. We'll start things off talking about Dallas and Ottawa. That's what the timestamps are for, people. Oettinger versus Markstrom. They had a nice ceremony for Brendan Dillon for playing 1,000 games. So it's always nice to see a defensive defenseman, get to 1,000 games, especially one that plays a physical game like Dillon has. Early jump for the Devils. Griciuk has a rush chance that's blocked. The Devils press 3 minutes in. There was a near miss for Glass. It's just all Devils early on. Shots were only 2-0 though 5 minutes in. So a lot of zone time for the Devils. Not a lot getting to Oettinger at the net. Devils are blocking the path to the net pretty well. Few whistles, few shots in the first half as well. Devils press with 9 minutes left. Dallas gets some pressure with 7.5 minutes left. I thought they had a better second half than first half. However, with a quick 20 minutes through that first period, I thought the Devils were the better team. But it's scoreless. Second period. Pritzkovian has a screenshot that's held. The Devils press at 4 minutes. Cotter has a one-timer that's sticked aside. The Stars get pinned down. Palat fires wide during that pressure by the Devils. Shots are 4-3 for New Jersey at 4.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. And then at 11:34, Heiskanen, with a wrister from the right circle, opens the scoring. Hintz and Ben with the assists. So with Sagan out for the rest of the season, Ben may very well end up playing a more prominent role. At the very least, get more offensive opportunities, and it's 1-0 Dallas. Stars press with 6.5 minutes left. Mercer gets denied from the doorstep. Griciuk fires one wide on a rush, and then at 17:36, Robertson with a wrister from the side of the net makes it 2-0. Lindell and Ben with the assists. So New Jersey had played a pretty good game to this point, but they're down 2-0. So a little discouraging if you're the New Jersey Devils. Stars press for another with 1:26 left. The Stars get a power play. Sheldon Keefe disagrees. Keefe seems miserable behind the bench for the Devils right now. Just saying. He just doesn't seem happy with things. So there's a shorthanded chance for Mercer. That's denied. And then there was a shorthanded chance for Connor Brown. That's gloved aside as well. They do end up killing off that penalty early in the third period. But at that point, I was headed to the game. So I watched the first 2 periods here, first period here, and the first period and a bit in this one. So, and then I was at the game. Now, in the third period, Dallas would add to their lead. At 7:05, it's Rantanen, scoring from Lindell and Heiskanen. So Lindell with a couple of helpers, Heiskanen with a goal and an assist. Dallas bounces back after the loss against the Rangers. They beat the Devils 3-0. So the Tony the Tiger magnets on the board. Yeah, I just realized, I thought I had all the magnets on the board. I thought I was all set. I was like, all right, I got the Tony the Tiger. And that's not going to fit there. I'm going to put the chest magnet down here. Apologies. Chest magnets on the board. 3 goals or less. Happens. So, shots on net. 8-6 New Jersey in the first. 13 apiece in the second. 9 apiece in the third. Final shots 30-28 for the Devils. Power plays. New Jersey 0 for 1. Dallas 0 for 1. New Jersey 0 for 2. The hits 23-12 for New Jersey. Jake Oettinger, the Tony the Tiger magnets on the board because he was great. 30 saves for the shutout. And Markstrom 25 saves on 28 shots at the other end. All right, next up, the Jets and the Habs. Comrie versus Dobish. The teams trade rushes and turnovers. The shots are only 1 apiece, 5 minutes in. This was kind of a fast start to this one as well. Habs pressure at 6 minutes. The Habs fans, every time Scheifele touched the puck, they let him know how they still love him. They have not forgotten. Nemesnikov has a slot shot. That's kicked aside. Texier has a wrister that's shouldered aside. The shots are 6-3 for Montreal with 9.5 minutes left. Anderson's denied on a 2-on-1 rush. Connor then has a rush chance. That's held. The Habs with some pressure with 5.5 minutes left. Evans then gets robbed on a turnover opportunity. So I thought Comrie had a pretty good game tonight. I do. Lowry then had a fight with Arbor Jackeye. Shots are 10-8 for Montreal with 4 minutes left. Hudson has a net feed. That's held. And then at 18:34, Winnipeg opens the scoring. Scheifele buries it from the slot on a rush, so the fans love that. Connor and Velarde with the assists. It's 1-0 Winnipeg. That's your score after one. Second period, it stays 1-0 until almost the halfway mark of the game. At 9:59, on the power play, Slavkovsky gets one to tie it at 1. Caulfield and Suzuki with the assists. But not long after, Winnipeg gets their lead back. At 11:53, it's Kyle Connor getting a goal to go with his assist. The assists to Velarde and Scheifele, so all those players with 2 points. Later in the period, Montreal ties it again. At 14:03, Kapanen scores from Demidov and Texier, so that ties the game at 2. That is your score through 2 periods. In the third, no scoring to speak of. The Jets had 1 power play in that third period. It is unsuccessful. We're going to overtime. The overtime, it was the Eric Comrie show. Comrie ends up getting it to the shootout. Then in the shootout, Caulfield ends the Comrie show with the shootout winner. It is a 3-2 shootout victory for Montreal, a win they needed. Winnipeg does get the point, but they would much have preferred to get 2. Shots on net, 11 apiece in the first, 11-8 Winnipeg in the second, 8-7 Winnipeg in the third, 5-1 Montreal in the overtime. Final shots, both teams had 31. Power plays, Winnipeg 0-for-1. Montreal scored on the only power play they had. The hits, 25-22 for Montreal. Comrie saves 29 out of 31. So did Dobesh, 29 saves on 31 shots. So the good news for both teams is both goaltenders put up a pretty good save percentage tonight on teams that have needed that kind of goaltending performance. So there you go. All right, next up, last one on this board is Buffalo and Philly. Ellis versus Ayerson. The shots are 2-0 Philly at 3 minutes, but the Sabres would get a power play and they score on it. At 4:08, Zucker buries one on a pass from behind the net. Doan and Norris with the assist. So Josh Norris with another point, 4 points in 2 games in his return. There you go. Sabres go back to the power play. That becomes 52 seconds of 4-on-4, and then it becomes 44 seconds of a 5-on-3 for the Flyers. They don't score during the 5-on-3, but on the 5-on-4 on the other side, they do. Konechny, it's a point shot pass to screen. Michkov and Sanheim with the assist at 8:26. So they challenged for goalie interference. I thought that was the wrong idea. I didn't think there was much of a chance that was going to get overturned. Sure enough, it fails. The Flyers go back to the power play, and at 9:04, Zegras. Bit of luck on this one, but hey, luck matters. Zegras with the goal, it deflected in off of McLeod's skate and right into the net. So that makes it 2-1 in favor of the Flyers. Then at 9:25, so 24 seconds later, Brink roofs one from Enclose, Cates and Gerbenka with the assists. That's 3 goals in 59 seconds. Philadelphia's been scoring in bunches, and tonight they did the same, and all of a sudden they're up 3-1. If you can read lips, and you saw Lindy Ruff after that third goal went in, I would like to apologize. And then the shots are 9-3 Flyers with 8.5 minutes left. Sabres get some pressure with 3.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Buffalo at 2:40 left. It was killed off. No shots on net there, so no momentum swing. 20 seconds left. The Flyers get a power play, so that rolls over into the second period with Philly up 3-1. Not long after that power play ends at 1:45, so seconds after, Cates buries a net feed in close, Brink and Drysdale with the assists. So we had 4 goals for the Philadelphia Flyers at that point in the game. Buffalo had 4 shots. So this is what I talk about with Buffalo. You get a great team one night, they look fantastic, and then the next time they play, they just don't. And it's got to be frustrating for Sabres fans. Sabres look to respond. Eventually they do. At 11:48, it's Byram from Tuck and Quinn. Makes it 4-2. But less than a minute later, and these fast goals by Philly, they're just so good at this. At 12:43, Tippett scores from Michkov and Couturier. Makes it a 5-2 score. That would be your score through 2. In the third period, 2 power plays for Buffalo. They're unsuccessful on both. Philadelphia wins this one 5-2. Pretty authoritative win here. Shots on net, 11-4 Philadelphia in the first. 14-12 Buffalo in the second, 12-11 Philadelphia in the third. So Buffalo played better, but by then it was already over. Shots on net, 35-29 for Philadelphia. Power plays, Buffalo 1 for 6, Philadelphia 2 for 5. The hits, 18-16 Philadelphia. Ellis saves 30 out of 35, and Ayerson saves 27 out of 29. So good game for Sam Ayerson. And now we're going to board number 2. Once I find that button, there we go. And then this happens. I have to say, seeing the scores when I got home today, I went, you know what? I'm okay with the fact that I was out. There's not a whole lot of analysis we can get, but let's talk about Utah and Anaheim here. Vejmelka versus Husso. 5:59 in, Utah opens scoring, and it's Lawson Krause, who seems to be heating up goal-scoring wise. Carcone and McBain with the assists. Then at 10:30, just past the halfway mark of the period, Gunther scores from Ian Cole. So it's 2-0 for Utah. That's your score through one. In the second period, Ian Cole gets on the board with a goal at 5:43. Lamoureux and Peterka with the assists. That rhyme was completely unintended. Please forget I did it. It's 3-0 for Utah. And then in the second half of the second period, Utah adds to the lead. At 14:34, it's Peterka, Schmaltz, and Keller with the assists. So 4-0 Utah. That's your score through two. This is in Anaheim. In the third period, 1:41 in, Liam O'Brien scores. He gets a goal from McBain and Dursey. They go to a power play later in the period. They score on it. Peterka from Gunther and Keller at 10:06. And then at 12:52, Clayton Keller scores from Peterka and Schmaltz. So there are some players here for Utah that needed to get going that did. Keller, Schmaltz, both of them on the board multiple times. This is good news for Utah. It's a 7-0 win. The Dalek Magnet's on the board because it's an extermination. Also, the Tony the Tiger Magnet on the board because Vejmelka didn't allow a goal tonight. Got the shutout. The shots on net, a little closer than you'd expect in a 7-0 game. 8-6 Utah in the first, 16-13 Anaheim in the second, 13-5 Utah in the third. Final shots 34-27 for the Mammoth. Power plays Utah 1 for 2, Anaheim 0 for 3. The hits 30-22 Utah. Vejmelka saves all 27 shots for the shutout. Husso saves 17 out of 21. And then Bataitz goes in and saves 10 out of 13 in relief. So without Mrazek, without Dostal, and if they're not scoring goals, just an ugly night for Anaheim. They have to forget this. They have to absolutely forget this and just erase it. The problem is they've now lost 7 of their last 11. And Anaheim, while they're still first, and we'll get to the standings, clearly they've started to go through what we might have expected for a young team that's all of a sudden relevant and above the playoff line. They're going to go through those rough patches. So for Utah, excellent game. Perfect game for them. We'll see how they follow up on it. All right, last game we're going to discuss, Washington and San Jose. My God, Washington's playing well, aren't they? Lindgren versus Askarov, 8:25 in. It's Ovechkin, who's 40. Roy with the assist. And I say that only because I know it would have come up multiple times during the broadcast tonight. This man's 40 years. Don't forget, he's 40 years of age. By 40 years of age, most players have retired by at least a couple years. Then at 10:05, Milano scores from Chisholm and Van Riemsdyk. So there's a depth goal for them. And then at 13:35, Ryan Leonard scores from Van Riemsdyk and Duhaime. So Trevor Van Riemsdyk with multiple assists tonight. It's 3-0 for Washington. And then at 17:07, it's a shorthanded marker that ends the night for Askarov. Duhaime scores from Protas. 4-0 for Washington in San Jose. Keep in mind, Washington played last night against the LA Kings, and they were still up 4-0 after 1 in San Jose. This team's playing extremely well. All of the attention on Dallas and Colorado, absolutely warranted. Do not sleep on the Washington Capitals. Second period on a power play at 2:41. Who else? Ovechkin gets his, 1500th goal. The assist to Leonard and Chychrun. So Leonard with a goal and an assist to that point. And then at 19:34 in the final minute of the period, Strome adds one. Roy and Leonard with the assist. So there's Roy's second assist. Leonard's third point of the game. It's a 6-0 in favor of Washington after 2. Third period, 1:03 in, Leonard scores. The assist to Roy and Lindgren. So Charlie Lindgren gets in on the scoring. He gets an assist. It's 7-0. The only question left was, are we going to have 2 7-0 games? And the answer was, sadly, no. And I say sadly because it'd be interesting if both of them were 7-0. On the power play, Regenda gets his second goal in. It's back-to-back games for Regenda, isn't it? At 12:58, he scores from Gaudette. It's not Roy. It's not Roy. Let me go ahead and fix that. All right, fixed. Orlov and Gaudette. That's the entertainment guy. The entertainment guy did that. I had him put stuff on the board while I was away. You know how he is. He's so inconsiderate. Anyways, 7-1. That's your final. So the No Mercy Magnets on the board because, yep. Interesting too, any day now that I do the Panic Index, I look at how teams perform, and some of the teams that were in the panicky side performed pretty well tonight. So, including Utah. So, you're welcome. Shots on net in the Washington-San Jose game favored Washington 12-11 in the first, 13-7 in the second, and then in the third, they just turned the tap off. 6-5 were the shots for San Jose in the third. Final shots, 30-24 for Washington. Power plays, the Capitals 1 for 2, San Jose 1 for 5. The hits, 19-10 for San Jose. Charlie Lindgren, 23 saves on 24 shots. Askarov saved 8 out of 12, and Nedeljkovic saved 15 out of 18. So, tough night for San Jose. However, when we look at the standings, things aren't entirely bad for San Jose right now. All right, standings time. So, Dallas with their win tonight, they pull within 3 points of Colorado. However, Colorado's played 2 fewer games. So, 18-5-5 record for Dallas, 41 points in 28 games. Anaheim with the loss. Now, if Vegas wins their next game, they jump past Anaheim in the standings, move into first. This also allows LA to stay within 2 points of first, and they have a game in hand as well. So Anaheim's grasp on first place in the division is tenuous. Utah moves back into a wild card spot, 13-12-3 record, 29 points in 28 games, the same record as San Jose, but they have the tiebreaker on San Jose, so they're the number 1 wild card. San Jose, the number 2 wild card, meaning San Jose, if the playoffs started today, would play Colorado. That could be fun. Utah would play Anaheim. Seattle drops out, but Seattle's only played 24 games, so they got a bunch of games in hand here. 28 points for them. With the 1 point, Winnipeg moves past the Oilers. 13-12-1 record, 27 points in 26 games, whereas the Oilers have 27 points in 27 games. Then we go out east because the 4 teams at the bottom of the West didn't play today. Montreal's back in second place. This Atlantic division's insane. 14-9-3, 31 points in 26 games. Ottawa drops to third, 13-9-4 record, 30 points in 26 games. And then you look at the Metro. Look who's first. Washington is first in the Metro, and they're first in the East. 28 games, 17-9-2 record, 36 points. So they're 2 points ahead of Tampa in terms of the overall seeding, but Tampa does have 2 games in hand. That drops Carolina to second. Philadelphia's third in the division, 15-8-3 record, 33 points in 26 games. New Jersey's in trouble. They're the number 1 wild card now, 33 points in 27 games. They're only 2 points above the playoff line, and the Islanders are just below the playoff line, and the Islanders are playing pretty well. So that drops Detroit out again. So Detroit's either in the playoffs in the top 3 or they're out. 30 points in 27 games for them. Outside of that, Buffalo, of course, 11-12-4, 26 points in 27 games. Buffalo is always a matter of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So, and that's the thing. I don't want to see negative on Buffalo, but it always feels like every time they have something good, like the game against Winnipeg, they play really well. The next game, they trip over their feet, and they don't get it done. So, there you go. You guys are all caught up on tonight's action. Of course, for tomorrow night's action, I will be here watching all the games. Friday, I will be home watching the games after my ophthalmologist appointment. And, so hopefully I can get the surgery I need soon so that my vision clears up and so I can enjoy watching all the hockey games clearly for a change. It's been very interesting watching the world through blurry eyes for a while. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for your patience. It does mean when I'm looking at the little clock that's on my camera software as well, it means sometimes the 6 and the 8 look the same. So if you see me doing this, it means I'm having a hard time telling the difference between the 6 and the 8. I don't know what the time is necessarily. But thank you guys so much for your patience, for your time, and all the best to you. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I think I'm done for now. I will talk to you again in the morning.